Yo, what's going on, TAP? That's right. This your boy Play Beat chillin'. I got Red. We got Bao in the building.
What's up?
What's going on? How's everybody doing? We're back at it once again. Rev's on the controls doing something.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is, first of all, welcome to Bao.
Hello.
For coming in. Very special guest. I had something planned and I completely forgot to communicate it with you. But for that, we're just going to go ahead and go right into it because we do have a special guest today. And we have a new setup and we're still working the little things
kinks.
out, the kinks out. So we're going to go
Well,
ahead and
didn't you have a skit? We were supposed to do that, huh?
Yeah, but you came in with the intro too early.
Oh, my bad.
So anyways,
I got
here we go.
excitable.
So.
But you're not. You're Asian. What type of Asian are you? What? What? Did you just say your last name? You're from Pong? Is that near Ping? No wonder y'all so good at that.
This guy.
He's good.
No, Pong is a type of Asian? Oh, Hmong.
That's right. That's right.
Hmong.
Hmong.
Huh. So y'all know
That face
one,
is
bro?
very familiar.
Yeah, I know. When I said that when I first saw
Asian Miss. Did you know that one? Hmong? Do we have you in New York?
Dang.
That's
I
right.
usually
Derek.
know my Asian shit. This is new to me. Hmong. What, from what country? If you say Hmong, I'm gonna flip out.
Yeah, right?
You got no country.
Miss, did you really know about this? Are you Hmong too? You're Chinese and Vietnamese. All right, I know those.
He's all normal.
This one
Wow,
over here
he
is
Hispanic?
nuts.
It must be a thing.
They're the Palestinians of
I cheated. I
Asians,
already
bro.
watched it.
You're not even sure if they really existed. Wait, Hmong, but where is Hmong?
We don't have a country.
That's right. We don't have an origin.
It sounded like Bao in the audience, right? We don't have a country.
That's right. I don't have a country.
Bro, he ain't saying the whole time. Hey, neither do we, bro. It's okay, you'll get there one day.
All right, so we have the Palestinian of Asians. We found one.
That's
Yeah,
right.
We got a
we found one.
We have a Hmong Among Us. So
Among
They call
Us.
us they call us Jews of Asia.
the Jews. Oh, I thought it was the Palestinians.
But
of
I like
Asia.
that too. Oh,
Oh, snap.
I like that too. But I like to take myself next to the Jews.
So I first met Bao. I think almost 4 or 5 years, something.
About 2016.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
wow, almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
So I met Bao, and when she said, because I'm familiar with Chinese, I know some Chinese individuals. I know
Right.
Filipinos. I mean, Hmong was a new one to me. So I asked Bao to come on and to kind of like maybe just share a little bit about that to us and our audience, exactly what it is culturally, religiously. Of course, there's no country apparently, I guess. But
Yeah, I didn't know
and how
that.
does that work out? It's like Hmong. What is Hmong?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know what Hmong is either, actually. I don't know what I'm doing here. No. The Hmong people, it's such a beautiful thing. I love my culture. I love the people. I love the food. And a lot of its origins, it's from China. Half of our language is Mandarin.
Nice.
And then the other mix is our original language. And then we take upon, wherever we migrate, we've taken upon different languages, like Laos. So we have a little bit of Laotian, we have a little bit of Thai, we have a little
That's
bit
cool,
of
though.
Vietnamese.
Yeah.
But there is the original Hmong language. Yeah, regarding where we're from, we don't have. Yeah, she's right. We ain't got no country.
Sounds like Dominicans.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Well, I like how Bao was saying that they pick up on the culture and the language. I wish Mexicans would do that. I have an aunt that's been here for 50 years and still can't speak English. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, or drive. I'm like, why are you here? No.
Because you gotta have no country.
You gotta have no country.
Yeah, where you have to have no choice. You got nowhere else to go.
We have to assimilate.
You have to assimilate.
Yeah,
They have
that's
a
our
choice.
only survival.
Oh,
But
man.
that's one thing about the Hmong people that I'm so proud of. We assimilate wherever we go.
That's awesome.
And it. And religiously, I mean, I can go to different parts, but I'm talking about culturally here, ethnically. So during the emperorship, in China, the Hmong people were considered, and this is by word of, a lot of these stories are word of my parents, because we don't have a book. We didn't get a written language until in the 1950s.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
So everything was just passed
Oral.
down orally,
Yeah.
huh?
Oral, yeah.
Yeah. We
Wow.
have no proof. There isn't any history of the Hmong written language. Everything was just verbal.
Hey, that's tight though.
So it is. So yeah, we came. That's why our languages is so diverse. It's a mixture. There's only 2 dialects. There's several, but Hmong, Green Hmong, and White Hmong. It's like the main one.
White Hmong.
I know.
That sounds racist.
There's different kinds of types of Hmong, but then we only speak 2 dialects. And so there's like the black Hmong. No, the striped
You can't say
Hmong.
black now. You can't
Yeah.
say. That's racist.
say
No. We're gonna cut her mic off right now.
What, is that a cultural appropriation? Like wearing,
I guess,
certain,
yeah.
But I love the our culture, and so coming, right in the 1960s, 1970s, Laos at that time. I don't know a lot about history, but here's a history I do know. Laos at that time was a neutral country, and then we just kind of got over Vietnam War, and obviously, they fell to communism. And so because of Laos was being neutral, Soviet Union, they used the French to get into Laos to overtake as communist country. And America, and they didn't want to send out their troops again.
Right.
And they just, a lot of people died in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So
They're like, that's too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so what did they do? They went the cheap route. They allied with the Hmong people, and the Hmong people lived in the mountains. We were jungle people. We hand sewn.
That sounds racist too.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up getting demonetized somehow for this.
We're gonna
I know
get canceled all over
this
again.
is Biden's. This is a Biden thing now.
Yeah.
A Biden presidency. This is what happens. You can't say black. This ain't a black tablecloth. This is turquoise.
Anyways, you were saying
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the jungle people.
Yeah, we
Someone got jungle fever.
That's right. I take that.
Oh man.
No, but we were jungle people, and I'm not gonna. It sounds silly to say that, but more maybe nomadic. We grew everything. We ate from the ground up,
As
roots.
it should be, I think.
Yeah,
you know?
and our food, and our stove was. It's not really a stove, but it's like this stone hearth, and that carried fire, and we would cook over it.
Oh, nice.
I'm only saying by what I my parents have told me, because I was born here. Most of my 3 of my siblings.
Wait, are you first generation here?
I am first generation here, but my parents. So a lot of my siblings were born there. A third of. I would
Wait,
say.
how many do you have?
Yeah. So I'm proud. I'm proud of them. I love them. I do regret how we came about, but there is about 21 of us.
Nice.
21 of us siblings.
So there's a lot of birthday presents.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 of us are born in September. And,
Oh.
and
Wait, not in the same year though, right?
every other year.
Okay.
About. No, not in the same year.
Nice.
No, so they're like my oldest sibling. He passed away on my mom's side.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's okay. I was about 1, so I don't recall a lot. But he
Wait,
was
are you
very
the
loved.
youngest
I'm the second youngest
out of 21?
out of 21.
Man, I learn something new every day about you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang, that's cool though, man.
Well, I can tell you the whole history about that. So, and I know we're going down a lot of tangent, but that's okay.
Oh, that's fine.
So,
Yeah, we got an hour to fill.
oh, right on. Believe me, I can talk about an hour a minute.
Nice.
So, my siblings, my father, both my mothers were married before. So my father married my first mom, because it's a polygamous marriage. He married my first mom when her husband died. She had 2 kids prior. But in her first marriage, it was also a polygamous marriage. So we have 4 other siblings.
Is that a cultural thing?
It is a very cultural thing. So it's kind of, but the biblical mandate of kinsman redeemer, it's similar to that. It's marrying the next, or we call it the Levirate marriage. You marry the next of kin.
Oh, dang.
And the marrying the next of kin. So my mom's husband and my first mom's husband, they're all Fangs, as well with my father. He is a Fang as well. There's only 18 clan names and the Hmong people. So, like, how your name is Valderrama. And what's your last name?
Salaya.
So, like, like, you guys have tons of it. We only have 18, and that's it. There's no more than that.
Man, that's like, cool, though.
It is cool.
Do you have like a family crest or like anything like that?
No, we don't. I wish we did, but everything's again by oral stories about the different clan names, and we have even taboos like superstitions. I can't marry another Fang person, which I get it. I wouldn't marry a Fang person. It's
That's probably one of your brothers or something
exactly.
like right.
Exactly. But we can't marry like Vang because they're too similar to Fang people. It's just kind of silly. But
oh, really?
Yeah,
so there's not that many.
But
names
it sounds silly,
with.
but it makes a lot of logical sense because you want to diversify the gene pool.
No, but what I'm saying though is just like, okay, so the superstition or the tradition is, or superstition, one of the two.
Yeah.
Okay, so
taboo.
So it's like you can't marry somebody with your exact same name, and it can't be sounding similar, but yet there's not that many names to begin with to choose.
But we're not. You said that to diversify the DNA. It's not about that either. Because I can marry my first cousin. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And like my mom and my dad,
as long as the last name's not the same.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. But my mom and my dad, they're pretty close relationally as well. He's like her uncle twice over. It's just a little funny. But both my moms were married before and they had kids before. My mom had 3 kids before in her first marriage, and then my other mom had 2, and then my father kind of took over the role of being a father, not a father role for the other 4, but he didn't marry the first wife because she was just passive age bearing, childbearing.
Oh.
So then my dad totally though had 6 kids on both sides. So he has a total of 12 kids.
So when you said you had 21 other siblings, or you're one of the 21?
I'm one of the 21.
So when I heard that, I just automatically assumed that it was from one person.
Oh yeah.
So, okay.
But my mom had 9. I mean,
like,
I'm
what
not.
was that family? The Duggars. Remember
Oh my
that?
goodness.
Oh god.
I was like, how many?
I try to forget about that.
Oh.
How about you Hispanic people? I mean, you guys got a lot of kids.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, but I mean, I only have one.
It's only because
or the
Mexicans
2.
can't afford cable, so we're like.
So yeah, I wanted to, I don't know. There's a couple of caveats to this recording session. Number one, I wanted to point it out is this is the first time we're actually recording in the morning.
I know. You notice there's no
Really?
beer.
Yeah, there's no beer this
There's
time.
coffee,
So I got
like-
coffee in my traditional TAP beer mug.
I'm gonna change things.
So we did.
I got this one.
Oh, wait, let me get the.
I got this one right
Let me
here.
get the camera too. There you go.
Mr. Me. Mr. Me.
Yeah, some cherry blossom.
Yeah, we gave her the Asian-looking cup. Yeah, show that camera right there to get the.
Yes.
That's another Asian thing.
Your mother-in-law chose this cup for me. I sense a theme here.
Oh man! So it's the first time that we're doing something different. I mean, I was gonna get up and make chorizo con huevos and tortillas
¿por
and
qué
everything.
no?
Because I got lazy.
Mi español is
Oh, okay.
Nice. At least
a
you're
minute.
trying, though.
Yeah, at
That's
least you're
good.
trying, yeah.
Rudy
So-
don't know Spanish. Rudy knows how to order a burrito. That's
About
about
it.
it.
Yeah, we talked about that with Alex.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things I wanted to talk about because we're doing this in the morning, and I wore this Fresno State shirt in honor of you because.
Thank you. I was like about to say.
Nice.
Yeah, I threw it on. I was wearing a different. I'm like, wait, I'm gonna throw on the Fresno shirt.
Representing Fresno, born and raised.
Born and raised in Fresno,
That's right.
California. Is there a really heavy Hmong community in Fresno?
Tons. I think.
Really?
we are second to the Twin Cities in Minneapolis and Minnesota. They in St. Paul. They have the first big population of Hmong people there. And then I think second is Fresno, and then third maybe Sacramento. And then there's tons of Hmong people all throughout Central Valley, Yuba City up there, Roseville, Merced, big crowd in Merced.
Where did you say somebody, a friend of yours?
Oh, my wife's friend lives in Atwater. She says there's a
Yeah,
lot of
there's
Because
a lot of
I was like,
Hmong there.
we're going to record tomorrow morning. You ever heard of Hmong? Oh, yeah. I'm like, what? I never heard Hmong. We found one. And she's
We
like,
found one.
I was like, yeah, we followed the rainbow and we found one at the end of the rainbow. I was like,
Are you telling me I'm short?
No.
Like, like, what? Are you gonna pay me too? I mean,
Yeah.
there's
so we're going to refill a coffee.
oh yeah, that's right. No, I I love the Hmong people. I love that we, I wish there was a lot more. There is Hmong people in Modesto, but I think a lot of the problem with the Hmong, not the problem, I guess, it's actually a good strength, but it can be a weakness.
Yeah.
They're very loyal to their own people.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
And
That's
nothing
awesome.
wrong with it. And so because of that, they huddle. But then, for me, I am so proud of my Hmong people that I want other people to know it.
Yeah.
I want to be expanding outside of that. And I think a fault of mine is that I don't hang out with the Hmong people enough because they're just, I don't know where they're at.
You got to start a support group on Facebook.
Exactly. I'm a Hmong who wants to talk to. And the funny thing is,
a Hmong seeking other Hmong.
Yeah. And the crazy
My
thing
name is
that
Bao, and I'm a Hmong. Hi, Bao.
Hi, ni hao.
We don't say hi that way. So, Jose, where do you live?
Yeah, I know shit. Here,
Hmong people, you know who you are.
Yeah.
We're gonna get him.
Oh man,
No.
all 18 of them, all the 18 clans are gonna come at me.
All 18 clans.
Hey, I want you to know that we have a council of the 18 clans. I'm being so
Nice.
serious.
I could just picture
like
you guys
the Lord of
meeting.
the Rings.
Yeah, I can see you guys. I can picture you guys meeting in a longhouse. Like I don't know. But I was watching a Hmong thing on YouTube a video
Hmong things or what?
Hmong thing. And I do got to say that the scenery looked so beautiful. You know what I mean? Like,
But where was this?
it was no country. It was just like,
It was
We don't
Wakanda.
it was in someone's backyard. You're like, is that a TV? No, it was nice. It was beautiful, man. I wouldn't mind living there. It was like out of a postcard. Like the girl was panning her camera around. I'm like, oh man, I would love to live there. It was
And Hmong people
and Hmong.
probably Laos or Vietnam, and right now there's tons of Hmong people in Vietnam. But then they've taken upon the Vietnamese language and cultures. But
Wait. I just.
this is why we meet in the morning. This is what we get.
Oh man,
I just want to.
Rudy needs a meeting after this.
I just want to point.
Hi, Rudy.
I just want to point out that B wanted to do research before we met, and he watched a video of this country. They don't even
It's not fair to say it was a country because I guess the girl in the video is just like I forgot what she said, but they had to take a cable car like up this thing. It was badass, dude.
to Imagination Land.
And if you know about Hmong people, if all you Hmong people who are watching or who will be watching later.
Oh, there will be all 18 will.
I will. They record. Your parents would tell you. I remember just growing up. I'm like, Mom, why are you guys taking your time when you're just going around one little crowd or a spot? They would just. And I didn't understand that, but now I know. They appreciate scenery. They are very.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful. And then the other thing too, it was like the older women in the tribes were walking around with like blue hands because they were doing the turquoise or
They're
indigo. Yeah.
Their hemp clothes. Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, that's cool, man. Like just to get back to roots, like to I think I would like to live that way. Very simplistic. The scenery was beautiful. Like when I retire, I would like to live somewhere like that.
To retire to Hmong?
Why not, man? Hell yeah.
So,
I'll take my bald ass over there. I might be the mayor or something like. Put everybody on the TAP out there like, what's up?
Oh, okay. So, anyways, so the one thing that when I originally asked you to come on, one of the things that prompted me to was because I had seen that you posted something on Facebook about this guy teaching people how to speak Hmong. Because, like you said, it's even though it's not a technically it's not a nationality, but you have a language. So I was wondering if you could walk through some of the common, I guess, greetings or phrases in Hmong.
Yeah.
So you can teach us, because we were, what we wanted to do was open up the show and say hello in Hmong, but it didn't work out that way.
No,
I would love to see that. I would have loved to
I'd be saying, I don't even know, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm going to learn how to say hi. But then I was like, like those Chinese tattoos people get and like, this says cool, but in Chinese it actually says like I'm a doofus or something. Loser. Yeah.
So when I say that we have a written language, we just got a written language in the 50s, it's not an actual written language like a symbols or anything. It's actually
Letters.
a Roman phonetic language.
Okay.
Roman letters, phonetic language that
tight.
This Christian missionary, man, I'm just so blessed by him. And very thankful that he and another guy, I think he was a French Catholic guy who was out in the Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia. That's why we would say it, okay? When you say the country, Southeast Asia.
I want to move to Southeast Asia.
That's right. And so, I'm very grateful for that. But the languages, really there is only 2 dialects, and the confusion is when there's words that cross over that have different words mean. Like, he had another video which I think it's great. He does a way better job than I did. But one thing he talked about was lemongrass. I don't know if you guys know what lemongrass is. Very popular in amongst the Laotian, Thai, Hmong people. We use it in almost every meal we make.
Nice.
And anyways,
I think I have a lemongrass tea at home.
It's not the same.
No.
No.
Oh. There goes that. I just lost my endorsements. Sorry, Lipton.
Yeah. But no, like for example, in the white Hmong, the dialect they say it Tao Du, and then in the green Hmong, which I am, or we also called Mong Lang, we call it Tao Ka, and so.
That means hello, or what is it?
No, it means lemongrass.
Oh, lemongrass.
Yeah, I'm just talking about lemongrass here.
What are we talking about now?
I will say hello in a little bit.
Not right now. We wait.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But I really appreciate how he said it. It was so funny because in Hmong Lang is tao ka, and ka means chicken as well.
Oh.
And so
it's like one word for 2 different meanings. Depends on how you use
dual
it.
meanings, and a lot of it is tonal. Our Hmong language is tonal, very much like the most Chinese, Mandarin and Cantonese. We're very tonal, so you have to be careful with what you're saying. And so
How you say it.
how it's crossed over to white Hmong, a lot of people say, well, if Tao Du and Tao Ka, like they have the first word that's the same, right? But when we transfer it, can it just be, Tao Kia, which means chicken in white Hmong? And so they're like, no, it doesn't mean that. So I think those are very important. Like he says, you have to be very careful and how you pronounce those words, because tones do matter.
Yeah, because like you go to order lemongrass and they give you a chicken, you're like, right?
Yeah. Wow. Exactly. You could be on these reels, Instagram reels.
You're like, hey, where's my lemongrass?
But we do have a lot of similarity words though. Like you say hello. I'm gonna say hello now. Hello is nya zhong, and that's all over for Hmong people. You can say that hello in different both
How is it
dialects.
again?
Nya zhong.
Nya Zhong.
Yeah.
Hey,
wow. Pronunciation is on spot.
You know what I'm
what? Yeah.
Pronouncing Asian. Not a specific country, just Asian.
Now, I want to talk about food because the food is I love food. I love trying different cultures, and
Yeah.
I think food is my thing. Now, I'm sure the food's got to be awesome, right?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what's your favorite dish or like a?
Wait, is it like Thai? I don't like Thai.
You go
There's a
sit
door out
outside.
there. Yeah. You can't believe you don't like Thai.
I don't like
You know
Thai.
why? Because he can't handle the spice.
Can't handle the
He
spice.
can't handle the
Sissy.
curry.
I'm not that kind of Mexican.
Sissy.
Are you even Mexican?
I probably not.
No,
I'm
but
black.
it's
You can't say black no
I-
more.
Sorry.
Jeez. Uncle Biden's going to come over here and fall asleep on your shoulder sniffing your hair, dude.
it's its own thing. Hmong people have their own
Cuisine?
cuisine. It is very similar to Thai and Lao, probably more like Laotian, but I think we're able to embrace those again, like with our language. We assimilate whatever foods they have and kind of do it to our liking.
Nice.
But like Chinese people, they have this hot like chili paste that they make with garlic and they fry it up. We don't really do that. I mean, we do it, but it's not something that my mom made all the time.
Ah, gotcha.
So like my favorite meal, I'm a simple woman. I just love the boiled chicken. We call it it's like you eat it before, like a whole month after you've given birth. I've never had given birth, but I'm single, ready to mingle.
There you
Just
go.
put it out there.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
As long as your last name isn't Fang or sounds anything close.
Exactly. And as long as you're not Hmong. I'm kidding. I'm totally
And you
kidding.
have to love lemongrass.
Yes.
So, that's what it is.
You can't be Mexican.
Can't be a fake Mexican like me.
Exactly.
We're gonna create a dating profile for Bao. We're gonna go
We
off the
should.
tapdates.com.
Yeah, dude.
Every one of our guests, are you single? Okay, we're gonna create a dating profile for you. We're gonna match them up. We're gonna do a dating game podcast.
Dude, that would be awesome. We should do
Oh
that.
my goodness! Are you gonna create buttons for us?
Yeah,
too?
We should. We should.
What was that old game show back in the day? The one where they like stand behind a wall. They even did it like on MTV. What was it called? The dating game. But there's another. What was the one on MTV called? I know there was that one where the girls sat in a chair and there was like hundreds of dudes behind her, or vice versa. You remember that one?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. We'll have to talk about that in a future podcast. Anyways,
Back to the Hmong food, though.
yeah, back to Hmong. Let's get
Yeah,
back
I
to
love
business.
food.
It's the Hmong food. We call it, chicken with the herbs or medicinal herbs, and I don't know what the actual herbs are called in English, but we have. It's very similar to Joe pie. I think it's called Joe pie. I can't remember what it's called, but lemongrass is the biggest key. But it's
I'm intrigued now. I got to try this.
but it's like boiled. It's all it is boiled chicken, and then we have a little
You
sauce.
boil it or broil it?
Boil.
Boil it.
So what we do is just chop the chicken in quarters, and then we put the lemongrass in, and we put the herbs in. Everyone does it differently, and I put like 3 peppers, like Thai chili peppers. Put them in
I'm
whole.
hungry.
It's good, and then that's one
I'm
of
gonna
my
make breakfast
dishes.
after
But
this, I promise.
after that, we're very simple. Other than that, we have like side dishes of like steamed veggies or boiled pumpkin, boiled squash, and that's more of a beverage. And it's a lot of side dishes, small side dishes, but not like Koreans have these little side dishes with
Yeah,
their food.
right.
It's not like that. It's a little bit different, and
That's awesome.
it is. And then we have just a simple dish where we just grill, pork belly over the stove.
I love pork belly.
Oh, it's so good. And we would cook it in the chimney. It was just the best.
Oh,
and
man.
so cold mornings, we would have the fire going, and then my mom would have a fresh piece of slab because we went to the slaughterhouse. By the way, I know how to slaughter chicken.
Nice.
Most Hmong people do. If you were raised that first generation, you should know how to kill a chicken.
Just like Mexicans, we have chickens running around the yard and everything. You hungry? Go get your own food. Right? We all had our own favorite brick. We'll pull out the house. And
Right? But we don't do that. We tortured those chickens. What? Poor things. We didn't torture them.
just get them by the neck and go like this.
Actually, you guys tortured them, but we killed them slowly. So what we would do,
You got to kill your prey fast because once the adrenaline goes in the body, it makes the meat tougher.
that's why I'm going to tell you how he did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we would
I
actually
think
make
we
the
need
meat tender.
We need a soundtrack for this.
Okay, so what we would do is we would get the chicken, and we have 2 people. My mom would hold the beak open, or hold it taut. You know what taut means. And then we pluck the feathers off the throat.
While it's alive?
Oh, it's alive.
Oh, snap.
And then we would hold, I would hold the wings and the feet together. She would hold the beak, and she'd get her knife. And once she plucks the feathers near the jugular, she slices the jugular, and it slowly dies. It doesn't even know. So we have it hanging upside down. So it's already calm. It's not freaking out. It's not running everywhere.
You play nice calm music.
Yes.
It's
And
it's like a massage therapist.
exactly. And then what we would do is
Candles.
we'd have these little metal bowls. We had put foil over it, and we just
Kenny
pu-
G playing in the
puncture it.
background.
saxophone.
Action
yeah.
puncher.
The lights, light a candle.
So we would puncture it, and then we would draw the blood in there, and we would eat the blood for later. But then we would collect all the blood from the chicken because the meat tastes better that way. It just does, and it is relaxed. We totally get the whole, tense chicken, but it's never out of like I think that there was appreciation for food like that because after we would do that, and we would kill like 20 chickens in one day, and then have dinner later.
Sounds
and
like it takes a long time.
it does take a long time. We did it old fashioned. So after we draw the blood, it does have a moment where the chicken just slowly just fades out. It's not like you Americans are like we don't do that to our chicken.
Okay, well, check this out. So I did know somebody who used to work at the Foster Farms facility down in Livingston. And the way they would do it is they would just have a conveyor belt of chickens hanging down upside down.
Yeah.
It cuts their head and their feet at the same time.
Wow.
And then it goes in the plucker.
Yeah. Can you imagine being one of the chicken and realizing you looking down there?
See, we didn't do that. We would put all the chickens in one bag. Like, you never seen those orange bags that have those like big orange bags, 10 gallons, whatever. Anyways, we have chickens in
Like
there.
a burlap sack?
Yeah, like a burlap sack, exactly. And but we just kind of put the chickens in there and then do one by one, and we'd pile them up, and then we'd have a pot of hot boiling water, and then we have another bucket, like 5-gallon bucket of cold water. So the key is to dip the chicken in cold water first, and then dip it in hot water so it doesn't scorch the skin. And so after that, we would pluck it, and then we would, gut it and clean out the intestines. We eat the intestines. We think we eat everything except for like the lungs. Yeah.
Is there dietary rules like in certain other cultures or religions?
Like you got to eat halal and.
Oh
like-
no!
like, you know,
I mean, we drain
kosher,
the
like-
blood just because it I think it tastes better, but I don't know if there was a.
Is there a religious aspect to
Yes,
drinking?
there is.
Okay, so
we don't drink it, so we would cook it. So we would either cook it or we would, because it kind of, I'm not sure you've ever seen blood before where it gets drained, it becomes like Jello.
Mm-hmm.
So
It coagulates.
Yeah, it coagulates. And so what we do is just slice it up and then toss it with some very thinly sliced lemongrass, lime.
lemongrass?
Green onion, cilantro, and I'm telling you, and then roasted rice grain if we wanted to. It depends on who wants to do what. And then sometimes we toss in different like parts of meats if we wanted to eat it that way, or then we boil it with back into the chicken. It just depends on what you want to do with the blood.
Yeah.
But some people eat it fresh, and then some people even use like if we were killing a bigger animal like a buffalo or a cow or not so much pig because we don't eat pig raw. We don't really do that, but cows we eat the beef raw. And so what we would do sometimes is get the bile from the bile duct, and then we would toss it in with the raw blood, with the raw meat as well. And because it works as a, like, we eat it raw. So it works as a, I don't know how to call that, but it kills the bacteria. It makes it
like
safe enough to
sterilizes
eat.
it?
Yeah, it sterilizes it.
Okay.
It's very interesting. I don't personally like blood. I'm not a big fan of that at all.
Me neither. It's like irony. And
But I love
metal in your mouth.
I love heart. I love liver. I love.
I haven't had liver in a long time. You know what I don't like either? Have you ever ate brain? Like beef
I do,
brain?
and I was gonna tell you that I love brain.
Like
I like it. No,
like Indiana Jones when they put the monkey brain.
But it all matters about preparation.
Yeah, well, because my aunt, she was boiling a cow's head, so we ate, the tongue, we ate the cheek,
Cabeza.
Yeah.
and it was funny because I was just talking to Junior. I was like, man, you got to be, don't be, afraid to try new things. You got to try new things. And so we go over there and I'm like, oh, great. Now I got to eat my words. And he's like,
Had a lot more than that.
and Junior's like, well, you got to try new things. I'm like, oh, you little ass. So she made me 2 tacos. Now, initially I bite into it. And
Fear
it was
factor.
Oh my God, Mexican.
Right?
That sounds like a challenge.
Oh yes.
No, it was good. Like I ate it and like I was like, oh, it tasted like I don't know, it was good. But then after a while, the aftertaste started coming in like metal. Like I was like, oh,
Tastes
okay.
like metal. It does not taste like metal.
That to me it did. I was like, I'm cool. I
Right.
can't do it. Maybe it's just the way my aunt did it. But
No, yeah, no offense at all. I love Hispanic food. I could eat most things, but I
Here
don't.
comes the offensive part.
Yeah, I just don't really care for. Is it called menudo? I think.
Oh, menudo.
I could
Okay.
go for that
So
right now.
I just had a conversation
That's
about
the
this
best
with coworkers
hangover
last night
cure.
because we were talking about that. So had I known what menudo actually was, I probably would have never eaten it. But because I've had it since I was little, and I go, Grandma,
Yeah.
Abuelita always making it. Like, oh, okay,
Right.
fine, whatever. But yeah, I don't like seafood because of the taste and the texture. But for some reason, the menudo I can do.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I like what do you call it? Pozole? I love pozole.
Oh, pozole stuff.
But
That's different, though.
It's different. Yeah, but I think what it is the way I'm used to eating intestines, because we eat intestines too, or stomach. I mean, I guess it's the stomach and how we process it and how we clean it may be different from how the Hispanics do when they prepare menudo. And so when we make it, it just tastes different. It's more of a fresh aftertaste versus I think menudo is more of a very savory, very heavy taste of that intestine,
Yeah.
that stomach feel. And I think that's why I can't taste
Well,
it.
the funny thing is that we're probably later on today because we're going to record multiple shows today, and we're probably going to have somebody who's actually lives in Mexico and has made this dish a lot.
Is he single? I'm just
Is
kidding.
he
I'm kidding.
single?
I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh! But say, well, I think he's in his like 60s. Was it?
Oh no! Whoa, that's only Hmong people. Okay, that's only old Hmong people do that. My uncle, love him, but he married young and
Married a young.
He married a young
A
woman.
young.
He was in his probably late 50s by then.
Sounds
and
like Sleepy Joe.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
Sleepy Joe Biden.
Oh,
I should have said Creepy Joe.
She would have got it there.
Yeah.
She would have got it.
So
Yes.
another thing I wanted to touch upon was the religious aspect because you now are and that's the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to throw this out there too because I asked her to bring her guitar and she didn't, so it's fine.
I totally forgot. I didn't know that.
She is an accomplished magician. No,
Magician. Musician.
musician. You play the guitar, you sing.
Yes.
We actually, and I apologize. I was going to queue up the video of one of the songs that actually Jose recorded and produced for the church.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we got to do that.
So
again.
maybe what I'll do, what we can do is, before the show's end, since we didn't have an actual guitar session from Bao, we'll play a little bit of the song that Jose produced. I'll pull it up on YouTube and we can play that.
Oh my goodness.
But so you go to church. You're a believer in Jesus, the Bible, and all
That's
that
right.
Western Christian. How different is the Western idea of Christianity differ from? Because I don't know what exactly Hmong, if it's what Buddhism or a cross between a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
Like what exactly is the religious tradition or spiritual tradition of the Hmong people?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was raised traditional, we killed animals and sacrificed them to spirits. So overall, we do have, it's a mixture of a lot of things, but maybe major three things is Buddhism, animism, and shamanism. So
Wait, what are the last two?
Animism, shamanism. I'm going to go through three of them. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So with Buddhism, I think there's a lot of, we still do definitely follow, don't murder, don't kill, a lot of being good and balancing out the good and bad. And then going to the temple, like when I was 16, my mom took me to the temple, Buddhist temple, and they had Buddhas. They had.
She's enlightened, everyone. She's reached enlightenment.
I just need to shave my head off now.
Is that a bald joke? Did you tell her I'm bald?
I know you're bold. No. So, there's that. And then animism is a worship of ancestors. So there is, for that aspect, we do worship our ancestors. We do pray to them. And then God is very distant. He's unreachable. That he does exist, but it's just something.
So is
we
it
don't talk to him.
monotheism or is it polytheism or is it like?
It's definitely monotheism, but then you worship still the ancestors. They are the ones who talk to.
Sounds like
we
Catholic.
talk to. I guess so. Maybe I've never heard of more than one God. In my growing up, it was mainly about the ancestors, and so along with that, shamanism. So shamanism is we would use the shaman as a mediary between the spirit world to our ancestors, and then as well to demons and ghosts and monsters.
But that shaman is a literal person.
Is a literal person.
It's like a priest.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a literal person, and he doesn't talk to necessarily God. He talks to the spirits. And so it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. And then we have people who we call it kokong or black magic, and literally it means picking up the needle. But it's that term means more of a black magic individual.
Snap.
And so there is that, and so we would kill. My parents, my father, for example, he can talk to the spirits too, and so we would cast lots. If you know what casting lots is, Jonah. What happened to Jonah when he got caught off the boat? Like they cast lots, and for us it's a little bit different. The way it is that there is there's horns on cows, and so the way that we do cast lots is we cut that horn in half. And so as my parent or whoever the person is praying to the spirit, they'll ask, it's more like chants too, by the way. They chant and they'll say, okay, this and this happened. Can you, should we kill a cow? Is a cow enough for you? And they'll toss it. And then the way it lands, either, cut side open or cut side or smooth side down, depending on how it is. I don't know.
That would be your answer?
That would be your answer.
Oh.
And so based on that, then they will have the shaman come later. The shaman would wear a veil over his face, and he would sit on this bench that they call a white horse. Sounds familiar at all?
Like Revelations?
Exactly. So they'll
Pale
sit,
horse, the white horse.
they sit on the white horse. And Hmong people, if they know, you guys, if you are Hmong, you know the stories. But, we even have stories of Genesis about them, when it started, when both Adam and Eve had to, produce kids. And so there's different stories about that. But it's crazy how it gets twisted in different cultures.
Genesis is an interesting book in the Bible because a lot of cultures around the world have a similar origin story,
right?
And since it's very interesting. I know Rev doesn't believe in. Didn't you say that you don't think that Genesis has any credence, or it's too fanciful?
Revelation or Genesis?
Genesis.
No, so okay, so this is interesting because here's my hermeneutical approach to scripture and how it's progressed over time. So when I used to growing up in the charismatic movement, of course, you're just taught to believe whatever you believe, don't question, this is God's at work, whatever, okay? So as I started studying and then you're looking at everything and you're trying to synchronize scripture with science and, those types of methodological ways of looking at things. So then I was like, okay, so we know that everything should fit in the natural element, right? So let's say, for instance, like read things you read in Genesis chapter 1 through 11. They don't fit. So especially in the creation narrative. So I would look at that as more, and I think a lot of other people believe, I think even Hank Hanegraaff at that point, and even Ben Shapiro, who's a Jew.
Right?
Yeah, he's a Orthodox Jew. And they approached the book of Generations, the book of Genesis, especially the creation narrative, as more literary than a narrative. So it's more poetry, basically, than actual things. So, and that's how I kind of lended to. But I think there's no... when you approach scripture, for me, I approach it as, look, there's so much of it that you can verifiably say, this is true. Like when you look at the Gospels, you look at a lot of the things that science and archaeology has basically said, hey, this is... I just realized something. Hold on. I'm over here talking and everybody's focused on...
Well, I keep looking at my collar. I'm like that commercial with like, I should have watched it in that one, because they're like, your collar looks relaxed.
Yeah, so anyway, so let me... So I didn't realize the camera was on you guys, and I'm sitting here trying to explain something, and you guys are just, oh. But anyways, so the way that I see it is just like the archaeology science can actually prove a lot of what we've already known, not necessarily pertained in Genesis chapter 1 through 11, but like, when you look at the archaeological record, the textual criticism, you could verifiably say at least 75% of the scriptures is verifiable and factual. The rest of it, I believe there is an element of faith. So if you want to believe that God created the world in literally 7 days, and if that doesn't fit into what we're seeing, especially when you look at the redshift, you can say, okay, well, the universe is expanding. So if you rewind the clock, we're given the age of our known universe about 13 billion years. You're given the age of this and that. Well, that doesn't coincide because in young Earth theology, and me and Scott, we kind of go back and forth with this too.
Right.
When you look at the young Earth, well, the world is only no more than 6,500 years old. So it's kind of like...
Or 10,000, I think, is the max.
10,000 is the max at young Earth. You look at Ken Ham, say, well, dinosaurs and people...
Well, then you look at supernovas that we can... there's supernovas are, you can set your clock by them. Every 25 years, there's one that goes off, and we can see them. We can count them in a way. And it goes about 10,000 years back. Another one that got brought up was Halley's Comet. Comes around every 60 years or whatever. And they're like, if that thing was going around for millions of years, it would have been gone by now. It would have evaporated because it goes around the sun.
Yeah, it goes around the sun.
And they're like, well, it hits the Kuiper Belt and all these.
There are certain things. And like I said, my basic approach to the things in the scriptures that can't be verifiable, the Nephilim and one of them, and it's like, okay, there's a lot of debate about that.
Well, we find giant bones.
Have we?
Yes, we have. But the Smithsonian does cover them up. Actually, I did a show. No one watches the Weekly Tap. No one listens to the Weekly Tap. I did one on giants. I want to touch up on it again because it's interesting. We do find, and when we say giants, what do you guys think of? You're thinking huge people. I'm talking a giant, no more than 9 feet tall. On average 7.5 to 9 feet tall is a giant that we're talking about. And I believe those are the giants in the Bible, the men of renown, if you will. We find their bones all the time. But there was this one in Lovelock, Nevada, in a cave that was found in the 1940s, I think it was. And they found duck decoys and a very advanced civilization living in a cave. And they found the bones of these giants. But a lot of them had 6 fingers and, weird little anomalies, red hair and all this stuff you hear about. So they do exist. They did exist at one point, and they were real. So that's why I kind of, the whole Nephilim thing, I think has credence in that sense that we do find their bones. It's just not... It's taboo, it's something that is not very talked about. And for what reason, I don't know.
I'd like to see it. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about it and to be, to know if that exists or not and where that...
No, it does. I do believe it does. And they found a Viking grave here in the Americas, and the guy was 7.5 feet tall. 7.5 feet tall.
So yeah, talking about, textual criticism and actually, finding the source and looking at history, Hmong people don't believe that. We don't have that even capability. That's not something that they even consider. It's more of, you should just listen and follow because that's what our parents told us. And so
sounds like the government.
Yeah. And so, I think the Hmong people in regards to religion, I was raised in that and very much believed in it for a very long time, and until I was 17. And I'm not sure if you want to. I can share my testimony another time. That's okay too. So, but yes, I am a Christian and I follow Jesus wholeheartedly. And
Yeah, we were talking about the Hmong thing. How do we get it?
It's the Holy Spirit, man. Let it lead us.
Yeah.
For real, someone needed to hear that out there. I honestly believe that. Like, yeah, because there's sometimes when I'm doing the weekly tap and I just kind of go off and I'm like, you know what? Someone need to hear it. It was spoken for a reason.
This is really exciting. I've never done a podcast before, but I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, the Stereo app. I really like that. It's very much like a podcast setting, but the things that it's more of a cancel culture too, because if you don't like it, if you don't like where you're listening, you just swipe right, and cancel them out.
Oh, it's like a dating app.
I guess so. But you can have an open live conversation like this, and then you have people who respond back as well, and you can play what they have to say.
Yeah, we actually remember the very beginning.
Like if I would have went live on here, we could have done that on the Spreaker app too.
Yeah, but there was also that. Remember that one, back in the day? It was with Blog
TV.
BlogTV.com when we started our first podcast, The Servants, like years ago, and it had people that can flip through channels.
Yeah, it's like TV stations.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But anyways, I think the Hmong religion is a mixture of that, and then the people now, for example, I can't speak for all my siblings, but a lot of them still follow the old culture, but they're just doing it because they want to honor their parents and love them. And I don't get me wrong, I've honored my parents. I don't think I've curse them or but I would say this, that when a Christian truly follows Jesus, there are sacrifices and a presence that God does demand of us, and he demands all of our attention, all of our affections, right. and so and comparatively to my love for my family, yes, my love for God is way more and is the most important thing in my life.
Well, how has that transition from that Hmong religion, what is it called? Is it called something specific?
We don't have it. No, there isn't something specific. Well, in Hmong it is. We call it Jingklan, means like you follow the monster. Sounds really silly. Or not the monster. So follow the spirit, I guess. You follow the spirit.
I follow the monster.
Or follow the
Sounds
old
like
ways.
No. Follow the monster.
That's why I'm not married.
Smart. Very smart. Get married, they said.
People.
It'd be fun, they said. Yeah.
It is fun, right?
I love my wife.
That's right.
Hey, I'm cutting this part out, and I'm going to make that its own little video. Yeah.
Oh, remind me when I'm married. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have you back on to see how you like that.
No, but it is that's what they would call it, and so. For example, they believe like you're a Christian, yeah, you follow Jesus, but my mom would like she thought I was just some cult, or that I was just I lost it, and what really kind of made her recognize that I was serious was when I got baptized, and that was a little bit year after I was started really following Jesus, and so for her we call it in Hmong it's are you believing in baptism? And I'm like, well, Mom, it's not about baptism that saves me or that,
right.
It's getting me to heaven. But then the biggest thing, like when I did first hear the gospel, because that's what changed everything. Someone explained what the true gospel was, and that was just very simple. It was that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and through his death, I have redemption, I have atonement, and he. We call it the great exchange, or that propitiation. Like God has given that to me, and so I'm so grateful. Like I think what made it so doubly sweeter and understood. Like I'm actually grateful. God knew what He was doing in bringing me to the family of a Hmong family.
Yeah.
Because we killed so many animals. We would follow the same ways where we would choose an animal that we don't want to slaughter, but we would choose one without blemish. We would choose one that has the most pure. Qualities and
hey, isn't that in the Bible too?
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think when I first heard the gospel being presented that Jesus is the Lamb of God, and that's how he said it. He says Jesus is the Lamb of God. He's a sacrifice. It made so much sense.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand the virgin birth. I didn't understand the Trinity then at all. But I did know that Jesus was God and is God. And when he died for me. And when he died, my sins were covered. When he died, there is no one else can fulfill that. And it made sense because I felt like I've been killing animals my whole life and nothing has ever come of it. Nothing has ever healed me of it. Don't tell PETA. Wow.
Not PETA.
PETA.
What is it? PETA. I don't know what it is. The animal rights people.
People helping animals today.
Something like that.
I still don't get me wrong. I still love eating pork and beef, and but I do it in honor of God, and God made it to
God
be
would
good.
want me to eat.
That's right. And so, and so I think what that has looked like, it's not been easy. I think the Hmong people are very limited in their education, limited and again, like they're even swayed by, well, maybe it's more of an American thing, maybe it's a culture. And I know it's more than that. It affects all people. And Mom, I would remember just telling my parents, and my mom mainly. My dad I love my dad. If you ever get to watch his dad,
we love you too.
Yeah, we love you too.
And but he has a different response. But my mom, I think that was really hard for her to really grasp that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not, my most obedient daughter. I'm not gonna say that, but how could you? Like, what did I do wrong to raise you to defy me? And so I would say going against that.
Really contentious.
Oh,
it's like a Hispanic family. They're very.
It's the same thing with people that
stout
move
Catholics.
move from Catholic Catholicism to Reformed or whatever.
It was practically. I felt disowned. Whether that was, but with the Hmong people, they tend to more like, we threaten you. We threaten disownment because that at least you'll do what's right. Yeah. But like even for example, like if you get married and you get divorced, you're considered a dead woman. And you don't have a household over you, a spirit of a man over your household. So for right now, my parents, they said, "Wow, we just would be happy if you just got married, because if you got married, then at least you have a spirit, a man over you." And I'm like, "Mom, Jesus is over me. He is my main household, And
right.
And I said, I don't think necessarily my identity lies in my marriage or lies in the Hmong. Being Hmong, but although I know that Hmong is important and that is part of who I am, but ultimately, I'm a follower of Jesus and He's died for me, and I'm His child, and I want you to know that. And but I would say, it was like the first time I shared with them. I didn't share with them the first 3-4 months of me following Jesus. I was just terrified, and part of me, yes, I was ashamed, and I just remember being convicted. God telling me, if you're ashamed of me, I will be ashamed of you, and I didn't want to be that.
How'd you tell him? He just sat him down and said, "I'm going to break your guys' heart."
Yeah. That's That's
pretty much it. Yeah.
Like a Band-Aid, just rip it off fast, son. Just back.
Well, I think I told my mom first. Well, some of my siblings first, and then I told my mom, and I think that she thought I was just going crazy, and so she threatened you should come back home, because I was rather a quiet child. I was rather just very obedient and just kind of wanted to do whatever my mom told me to do. I did it, and so because of that, she thought I was crazy. But then as she knew that I was more serious, I was like, I'm not going to participate in the animal killings anymore. Because during that time, I was still going back home.
It was a family occasion?
It's sacrificial thing?
Yeah, we do that like every year. And then we have several animal killings in between that, like spirit callings. Like, for example, if I got in a car accident and, on the corner of, Sunrise and McHenry here, or Sunrise and Orangeburg.
Yeah.
Like if I got in a car accident there.
That's not where our studio is, by the way, just in case you want to look at
it. We're on Tully and Roseburg.
Yeah, we're in some cave somewhere.
But yeah, no. But if I got a car accident there, my mom and my dad or whoever would go to that spot and call my spirit back and say that we go to the shaman, and the shaman says, "You know what? That wasn't enough. You have to kill an animal now." So those are the kind of things we would do. Or if I had cancer, they would do the same thing.
Do you get to eat the animal? Or you just got to sacrifice it and burn it? You bury it?
It's funny. We don't. I know in scripture they would burn it, right? Mm-hmm. But and we wouldn't burn it. So what we would do is we would offer the whole animal, and then we would use the blood of the animal. Though we do, like I remember, we would go to the slaughterhouse. They would hang the pig, and you get the knife and cut the jugular, and you just kind of get. We'd have ice cream buckets or gallon milk cartons, and we collect the blood, and then after that we collect the blood. We would go home and we would dip we would have these fake money that we punched out. It's not really money, but we call it fake money for the spirits.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to show you. Well, it's really hard to describe. It's
Dude, if we could find I know we're gonna find a video somewhere, maybe on YouTube, of traditional Hmong.
Oh, I'll show you. We have some. I will show you. I just didn't know that. I wasn't prepared. I didn't come, but we will be prepared. If you do a part 2, or if you
We're
if
going to. We're
if
gonna
you
have
invite
to.
me over again, I would love to share different parts.
Well, let's do that. Let's because we're coming up to an hour.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
54
okay.
minutes right now.
So let's. What I wanted to do is, because, like I said, I mentioned earlier, Bao didn't bring her guitar, so we're gonna play.
Oh God! And by the way, I do want to get a caveat. I'm not. They think I'm great, but I'm pretty average. I think I'm
No,
average.
great
but
are you?
Well, I
though?
think this recording came out good considering we recorded it outside and
That's right.
Yeah,
and everything.
we did this in the midst of the COVID
But
thing. So,
for me, it's a joy to serve other people. It's not so much that I'm great at this. So, anyways, I'm
so we're
pretty
gonna go
nervous
ahead and play this. So good
Okay.
enjoy, Bao, and the rest of the worship band. We have Mike. Mike is here, and Mike is singing background, and then we have Noah.
Yep.
Playing the keyboard, and then we have Glenn.
on the cajon.
Glenn
huh?
on the cajon.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and give this a listen.
You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, Lord. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. All the earth. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, Nice
All
patty.
right, all right, all
Yeah,
right.
that was good, man.
That was a really good song. Good composition. Great production.
Yes, it sounds so good.
Playview was the production on that, so that was.
I was hungover.
That's why it sounds so good.
Yeah, right. So anyway, so Bao, that's thank you for coming on. That
Yeah,
was
for
pretty
sure.
awesome and informative, and I can't wait to do it again now. Considering there
Yes.
seems like there's still so much that we could talk about. So, but thank you for coming in and spending a whole hour. This is another. So we're doing a lot of firsts today. First AM morning show.
This is the first hour. You've never done an hour
never
before?
did it. Well, no, we've done an hour, but not in our new format. This is our new the
Okay.
new format we've done.
Right
so
on.
Bao has now
Officiated
officially.
this.
Yeah. So who we did?
We need some
Yeah.
champagne.
Hey, next time next time
5
you
o'clock
invite me
somewhere.
over,
Yeah.
next time you invite me over, I will do something. I will be
We're gonna
more
get this
prepared.
part up. So
But
anyways,
this
yeah.
is exciting. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
if
for
you guys
sure,
are
no problem.
listening, please spread the word about TAP.
TAP,
TAP, baby.
Share. All right, this has been your boy, Sarev the Servant, here with Play B and our special guest, Bao the Hmong.
Wow.
This has been your boy. You have been tapped.